In a quiet Nigerian town, a grand estate sits on a hill, its grandeur now faded, but its history still strong. This is the home of Chief Olenai, a powerful man whose wealth and influence spread across the land. But Chief Olenai's health has faded with his estate, and as he lies on his deathbed, his family gathers like vultures, each waiting to stake their claim. Chief Olenai had a complicated life. He was a man of tradition and power, marrying according to his family's wishes. His marriage to Mama Duro, a strong and proud woman, was not built on love but on duty. Together, they had 3 children, 2 sons, Sigen and Yemi, and 1 daughter, Sarah. Their marriage, though dutiful, lacked warmth. Chief Olenai, ever the man of duty and responsibility, treated his family with the same sense of order as his business empire. Over time, it became clear that the bond between him and his wife was more of convenience than love. His children, while groomed to be heirs of his empire, lacked the closeness and affection that many would expect from a family so wealthy. Sigen, the eldest, was a man of pride, always trying to live up to his father's image. Yemi, the second son, rebelled against the expectations placed on him, constantly drifting into reckless behavior. Sarah, their sister, was a silent observer, always caught between her brother's ambitions and family duty. But the chief's life was full of secrets, and the greatest one would soon walk through the doors of his home. The chief's children were no strangers to the tensions of inheritance. They each knew that their father's fortune would be their last tie to the power and status they had been raised with. But unknown to them, a new player would soon enter the game. Tolu had grown up far from the world of wealth and power. Raised in a small, remote village, she had known only poverty and hard work. Her mother, Odejoke, had passed away when she was a child, leaving her to be raised by her grandmother. Tolu knew little of her father, only that her mother had once worked as a maid in a rich man's house before disappearing from her life. For years, Tolu had lived in ignorance of her true parentage, working in the fields and selling goods at the local market. But everything changed 2 weeks ago, when a letter arrived, a letter from Chief Olenai. In disbelief, Tolu had read and reread the letter. Could it be true? Was the powerful Chief Olenai her father? Her mother, Odejoke, had never spoken much about her past, but now, the truth was unfolding before Tolu in a way she never expected. Odejoke had once been a young woman working in Chief Olenai's household as a maid. The chief, despite his marriage to Mama Duro, had been drawn to her warmth and kindness. Their affair was brief, hidden away in the shadows, but it resulted in Tolu's birth. Fearing scandal, Odejoke had fled, never to return. She raised Tolu in obscurity, keeping the secret of her paternity to her grave. And now, Tolu stood at the gates of the mansion that had been kept from her all her life. She wasn't here for wealth or power, she wanted answers. Who was this man who claimed to be her father? What did he want from her now, at the end of his life? Inside the house, the tension is palpable. The family members have gathered not to mourn, but to seize the opportunity of wealth. Uncle Jerry, always in his brother's shadow, plots with his nephew there to secure their share before anyone else can claim it. They do not know about Tolu's arrival. They do not know that Chief Olenai has a secret heir, one who could disrupt all their plans. Tolu hesitated at the door. She was an outsider here, in every way. but the letter in her hand urged her forward. As she prepared to knock, the sounds of raised voices inside made her pause. What kind of family was she walking into? Inside, the argument had reached a boiling point. Accusations flew as the family members scrambled for position. But the sudden appearance of Barrister Ogundil, the chief's lawyer, brought a temporary silence to the room. He held a briefcase, the key to the chief's final decisions. "The will shall be read tomorrow," he said calmly. For now, the chief requests peace in his final hours. The family exchanged glances, but the greed in their eyes remained. That night, as the mansion settled into an uneasy quiet, Tolu sat alone in her guest room. She clutched the letter from Chief Oleniyi, still unsure of what lay ahead. She had never known wealth or power. She had lived a simple life, filled with hard work and little reward. But something about this house felt wrong. There were secrets here, secrets that no one seemed willing to share. As she looked out the window, she saw one of the chief's nephews, Daniel, sneaking toward the chief's private study. What was he doing? Was he trying to steal something? An uneasy feeling settled over Tolu. She wasn't sure what she had walked into, but it was clear that this family was far from united. Inside the study, Daniel's hands trembled as he tried to pry open the locked box. Sweat beaded on his forehead. Whatever was inside could change the fate of the entire family. But as he walked on the lock, the door creaked open. He froze, turning to find Tolu standing in the doorway, her eyes full of suspicion. "What are you doing?" she demanded, her voice firm. Daniel's mind raced. He had to think fast. But before he could speak, another figure appeared in the doorway, Uncle Jerry, the chief's younger brother. His face twisted with fury, but his eyes flickered with something else, fear. Uncle Jerry stepped forward, his voice low and menacing. "You don't belong here," he said to Tolu, his words laced with malice. But Tolu stood her ground, clutching the letter in her hand. "I'm his daughter," she said firmly. The air in the room seemed to freeze. Uncle Jerry's eyes narrowed, and Daniel looked between them, his fear intensifying. "You think you can just walk in here and take what belongs to us?" Uncle Jerry sneered. "Not a chance." But Tolu had not come for wealth or power, she had come for the truth. And the truth, as it turned out, was far darker than she had imagined.